What's up, y'all? I'm Lawrence St. Victor, and welcome to Just Geeking Out. We're doing our weekly wrap up. It's usually on Sundays, but it's on a Monday because I had an unboxing that I had to do on Sunday. It's of this Power Girl that just went up for pre-order. So the fact that I found her in the wild was bananas. Had to do an impromptu unboxing to show this figure off, and it is dope. Very tall, very tall. So go check out the unboxing, hit the playlist. I got a bunch of stuff there. Before we go any further, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and jump into the comment section. Today we're talking about, we got another Superman teaser trailer we're gonna talk about. We got some Mafex figures we're going to talk about, some castings in Invincible, some castings in the Lantern series. We got some fun stuff to chat about today. I'm not covering all geek news, just the geek news that tickles my fancy, and hopefully it tickles yours too. Okay, so first up, let's talk about some casting news. We have Ulrich Thompson playing Sinestro in the new Lantern series with Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre. That's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. We're getting a Lantern series, period. It's such a fun time to be a comic book head, to be a geek. And I'm excited. I don't know much about the actor, but I know that he was in Banshee for a few years and has a bunch of TV credits. So I'm very excited to see what this DCU version of Sinestro is, because we really only got the Ryan Reynolds movie, and we most of us try to forget about that movie. I think it still has its charm. Next up, Invincible is casting a slew of roles. We have Aaron Paul, he's coming on as Powerplex. We have Simu Lee. I'm so sorry, I'm jacking his name up. I promise I do this. I promise I know what I'm talking about. He's gonna play Multi-Paul. And we have Kate Mara's coming on as Becky Duvall. And Jonathan Banks, you know him from Better Call Saul, from Breaking Bad. He's coming on as a mystery character, has not been revealed. So Invincible Season 3, I mean, the casting has been top notch since season 1, so I wouldn't expect anything different. But that's really cool to see, like, these major stars are jumping into this, Invincible pool. I've read the comics. It doesn't stop being amazing from start to finish. So I'm really excited what these actors bring to the table. Yo, Sonic the Hedgehog, it has a release date for part 4 already. It is gonna run into the theaters March 19th, 2027. Now, don't judge me. I've never seen Sonic. Not 1, not 2, not 3. But apparently it's amazing. Am I missing out on something? Let me know in the comments section. Should I jump into Sonic? Because for this thing to be breaking records and coming out with a part 4, like part 3 just came out and they're announcing part 4, they're doing something right. So let me know if I need to jump into Sonic the Hedgehog. So apparently during the screening of the next Mission Impossible movie, there was an action set piece that was so thrilling, an audience member like literally had a heart attack while watching it because it was so thrilling. I believe the person is okay, I hope so. But what are they doing in this movie where audience members are having such a visceral reaction? I mean, sometimes I get scared watching those movies. I'm like how hard is Tom Cruise gonna push? My man fell from the atmosphere in one of those movies. And then the motorcycle jump in the last one, like, Tom, please be careful, my man. Be careful. Use your stunt doubles. They're there for a reason. We got a first look of Supergirl. Well, not of Supergirl, but our first image of them filming. We got Millie Alcock sitting in her actor's chair with the Supergirl logo, and kind of looks like she's in a bar. And when I think of a bar and her traveling through space, you can't not think about Lobo. So that's pretty exciting. And if you look at the emblem, it's kind of red with either black or navy underneath. Now, I don't know if that's just the logo they're kind of sporting on their swag, their chairs, their sweats. Sometimes actors and crew, they'll have a jacket or a sweatshirt with the movie logo on it. Or Supergirl's logo gonna be without the yellow? I have no idea, but it's really cool that, Superman wrapped and it's gonna drop July 11th and they're shooting Supergirl now. You can't tell, I'm a big Superman fan. And as a kid, 80s baby, you watch the Christopher Reeve movie and then you watch the Helen Slater Supergirl movie. And I was too young to realize how bad that movie was. Something felt off about it, but it's Supergirl. I didn't care. And in my mind as a kid, I'm like, why can't they be in the same movie? Why don't we have Superman and Supergirl in the same movie? And now it's happening, like 35 years later. So I'm very excited. It's also rumored that she's going to be in Superman, which I'm sure she will be. And I know that's making a lot of people nervous because of all these characters and superheroes in the Superman movie. I'm not worried about it. And this is the reason why. I think, in all love to Zack Snyder, I think what Snyder was trying to do and was too much. All these characters trying to fast track Justice League. It was too much to introduce all these important characters. That's why we all know the MCU was great, because you felt all these characters were kind of introduced before we got to the Avengers. Superman's a little different. He is the guy that we're introduced to, but the world already has superheroes in them. So we don't need a Mr. Terrific introduction. We don't need a Guy Gardner introduction like that. It's almost like Invincible. We're watching Mark in Invincible figure out his place in a world where there's already superheroes. So we don't need introductions to these superheroes. Like, we don't need an origin story for Jimmy Olsen or Perry White. It's just part of Superman's world, and we get to know the characters as Superman relates to them, which was very different than what Zack Snyder was trying to do, which is make us care about all these characters so we really care about their dynamic when they team up. And it was a little too fast for most. Not for me, because, I watch the cartoons, I read the comics, so I kind of already filled in the blanks for myself. But that's why I'm not worried about the Superman movie. And while we're talking about it, I was going to save it for the end. Yo, we have a trailer that is exactly like the last trailer, except shorter, with a couple of different images. And I'm talking about that James Gunn Superman movie. We get Lex Luthor coming out of a helicopter, and we get to see Superman in flight for just a little longer. And he does that barrel roll, and then he's flying with the camera in front of him. So it's almost like we're flying with him. It looks so great. And it breaks my heart that people are just going out of their way to hate on this movie. It blows my mind. None of us, we haven't seen more than probably 2 minutes of this movie. And people are saying it's gonna suck. What's wrong with his eyes? The CGI is so bad. It's so corny. You haven't even seen the movie yet. How are you coming to such a strong conclusion? It's just hate, man. And the Snyder fanboys, not fans, because I'm a Snyder fan. Into the Batcave, this dude on TikTok, he said it really great, because he's a Snyder fan. There's a difference between fans and fanboys. The fanboys, they're not fans of the characters. They're not fans of the source material or the comics. They're a fanboy of the particular director, that particular actor. So they're angry about it. And they're talking so much trash that even if you love Zack Snyder, if you're a fan, you love Superman. So you want every Superman project to succeed, just like you wanted Man of Steel to succeed. So the fact that these fanboys are out here trashing something before they I don't understand it. It's kind of crazy to me. I would love nothing more for Henry Cavill to have had a Man of Steel 2. It didn't work out for a number of reasons. It's moved on. We're lucky to have a Superman movie after the critical dumpster fire that was the DCEU. So I am very pleased, and it looks freaking dope. Anyway, I'm off my soapbox. Moving on, speaking of James Gunn, he clarified a little bit more about the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. And he said this before, but basically, Creature Commandos, whatever is said in Creature Commandos is now canon for the DCU. So if they mention something that happened in Peacemaker or the Suicide Squad, then that's become canon. If it's not mentioned, then it's not. He said most of Peacemaker Season 1 will be canon, with the exception of the Justice League showing up at the end. And then he said the Suicide Squad, that's going to be more like he said something like a dream or a memory that you remember pieces of it. I forget exactly what he said. It's hard not to look at that as a cop-out. Like, I get it. There's elements of these TV shows and movies you still want to use. You still want Viola Davis as Amanda Waller because she's amazing and she probably should have had way more than she had. And Peacemaker was too much of a hit to not like have a season 2. But it also was connected to the DCEU, so you can't just make it like an Elseworlds, like Robert Pattinson's Batman, so I get it. But after a while, it starts to feel real complicated. So, yeah, just tell us what is in. Well, I guess he did. Whatever's in Creature Commandos is in. That's it. I just finished Creature Commandos, by the way, and it's really freaking good. It's amazing. It's really good. First episode kind of feels like paint by numbers, Suicide Squad. You've seen this before. James Gunn's kind of doing his thing with ragtag characters. Excuse me, it's really late right now. But as the episode, once you get to like episode 3, it's like, yo, this is tragic and heartfelt. And it hits you right in the freaking feels, all of it. So, chef's kiss to Creature Commandos. And if you're unsure about what is in canon, watch Creature Commandos and it will tell you. It'll tell you that Batman's out there somewhere. Speaking of which, Elseworlds. James Gunn is going to make a new logo for all the Elseworlds DC stuff. So even though he wasn't involved with Harley Quinn, and even though Matt Reeves' Batman is a separate entity, it's still all under the DC Studios umbrella, which is under James Gunn. So he's going to create a separate logo for those. He's calling them the Elseworlds. They're not in canon, separate stories and separate universes. And they're going to have their own logo, which would be cool, which could cut back on some of the confusion, especially with more casual fans who might get confused if there's 2 Batmans at the same time in like the movies, feature films. That could be a little confusing to casual fans. So it's going to have its own logo. What else do we have here? Let's talk about a little bit of video games, man. Not too much, but the reason why Assassin's Creed Shadows is having delay is because they're reworking the parkour system. They're fine-tuning it, which is great. So they're going to make it even smoother and faster and more fun. So it seems like everything's in place. They just got to take care of that. And it will be out March 20th, 2025. I don't know if I'll get it. Do you guys play Assassin's Creed? I think I played part 1, and then I wanted to get another one and didn't, and I kind of fell off of it real fast. But let me know. This one looks pretty dope, so I might pick this one up. We'll see. The Oscar nominations came out, and I'm not going to focus too much on all the movies, but some of the movies that got nominated are like in our wheelhouse. So Dune received a bunch of nominations, which is freaking dope. I don't know if the director got nominated, but definitely some of the other behind the scenes stuff got nominated, and as they should, because it looks so freaking great. Substance, and it's more horror, but it's kind of content adjacent to geek stuff. Demi Moore, kind of like I haven't seen it, but like I imagine it's kind of like body horror type situation, sci-fi. So that's really dope that these genre things are getting nominated, and of course, Wicked, all the nominations, including Best Actress and Supporting Actress in Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, which is pretty fantastic. You know, for a long time we felt like the Oscars were hoity-toity and all about like acting and the theater and, you know, and the cinema, which is fine. I love those movies. I'm just playing. But it's also nice when a genre pick or sci-fi pick or fantasy thing can also scoop up a bunch of nominations too, because it takes just as much work, if not more, to make that stuff real. So, bravo to them. Yo, Nosferatu director Robert Eggers is going to do a 13th century werewolf film. I haven't seen Nosferatu yet, and I hear it's amazing. I want to. I'm really excited about this werewolf film. There was just a movie out called The Wolfman. I haven't seen it, but according to a lot of people, it was a letdown and there was no real werewolf in it. So it's nice to see we're kind of going back to the basics with this classic, really messed up horror stuff. I'm with it. I'm in it. I want to see it. Benedict Cumberbatch, I think, leaked something while giving an interview. But basically, we now know that Doctor Strange is not going to be in Avengers Doomsday, but will be in essential part in Secret Wars, as well as get a third movie. Don't know if he was supposed to say that, but we don't care. We're going to see it. We're hoping that this next phase of Marvel, starting with Captain America, is like getting back to what we loved about the MCU. I'm not a hater on the MCU. It's funny to me how like fans will just turn on a thing. Yeah, it had some weak spots. There was a global pandemic. The streaming wars happened. No one knew what was going to happen with content. So it was all about streamers and trying to get your subscription. So they probably made more than they should have because they weren't sure who's going back to the theaters. They didn't know what the world was going to look like. So like give them a pass. They're still making the stuff we love. And we got Fantastic Four coming out in July. We got what is it, the Thunderbolts? Is that the name? The MCU Suicide Squad that's coming out. We got Captain America Brave New World coming out. This is fun. It's fun. We got the Spider-Man cartoon coming out like this week. It's a good time to be a geek. So I'm very excited for this stuff that's coming our way. And let's talk about some toys real quick before we get out of here. Yo, Mafex just dropped they just put up for pre-order a Killmonger figure and a Hush Robin figure. That Killmonger looks dope. Michael B. Jordan, his likeness is there. But let's talk about that Hush Robin figure. Oh, that is a beautiful freaking figure. I am more of a DC guy than a Marvel guy, although I do have some Marvel stuff. And I kind of stick to McFarlane, although I have been dabbling in more of the expensive figures. I just picked up this Mezco Superman. I did a comparison video with him and this Pop Mart Kingdom Come, as well as the Muff Toys Clark Kent, to see like which one is the better soft goods figure. And I have cruised to the Mafex, which are just gorgeous figure. So when I saw that Robin, I was like, it's such an expensive slippery slope, is what I'm trying to tell you. You know, it's one thing to grab a McFarlane figure for 25 bucks here, 25 bucks there, but when these things are dropping to $70 to $100 a pop, it's a slippery slope. But that Robin looks so dope. But if I try to get that Robin, then I'm gonna have to try and get that Batman, because you can't have Robin without Batman. And then before I know it, I don't know, but it looks great. Let me know your thoughts. Are you grabbing this Mafex Robin figure? It's very expensive. So try to go to like plazajapan.com or like Hobby Link Japan. Like sometimes the Japanese websites, it's way cheaper, and even with shipping, it'll be cheaper than getting it from like a Big Bad Toy Store or Amazon. No hate to them. It's just, you know, try to get it from those Japanese toy websites if you can before spending all the money on the American ones. That's all I got, man. That's kind of the news. Let me know if I missed anything. I'm sure I did. And yeah, check out this unboxing of this figure. I think she turned out really great. Turned out really cool. And that's all I got. We're almost at 200 subscribers, guys. Thank you guys so much. I'm still figuring this thing out, still figuring out what I want this channel to be. But I do want to share with you, and you guys share with me, like just our love for this geek stuff. You know, this world is getting harder and crazier, and as we get older, things just get a little bit more stressful and frustrated. So the fact that we still have toys and comics and cartoons and movies to kind of bring us back to our childhood, or bring us back to those times where things were just a little simpler, the better. That's why I collect. You know, it kind of brings me back to when things are a little simpler. Coming home from school and throwing on Power Rangers. Good times. And that's what I want this to be for us. Anyway, I'm talking way too much. That's the weekly wrap up. Like I said, make sure you hit that notification bell. Make sure you like, subscribe, and say hello in the comments section. I'll see you same super time, same super channel. Peace.